Okay. Versatile Vigilante, Young Vince, Uncle Vinny. And we are in a very special location for a very special interview. The owner of Artdillo Eclectic, Carli.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Oh man, you guys are having me. I appreciate you being the host. I absolutely love your space. If anyone is watching from previous videos, this is where we did the Livy Darconti interview. Very cool space. So I'm gonna stop talking, and I want to hear all about. Explain where we are right now, and we'll go from there.
Sure. So this is Artdillo Eclectic. We opened up the space last April, and I got the keys to the space last February, actually. And I kind of took 2 months to create. There's like multiple rooms in the space, and it houses all of my handmade pieces as well as pieces of other local artists as well.
So, and we're in an interesting part of the city too, Culdesac, which I was reading a bit about it, and then when I came here, it was the first time actually being here.
Yeah.
Cool little vibe over here.
Yeah, it's a really cool environment to be in. I actually first found out about the cul-de-sac when they were having these Thursday evening markets called the Little Choya Market. And so I would pop up my vendor table. This is like, I guess, almost 2 years ago is when, a year and a half ago, I was first starting to do this full time. And this was one of my first markets, like as a full-time artist. I popped up my table here at one of the markets and I just kind of fell in love with the place here. And so I continued to do the markets, and eventually I was able to get the space and become like a part of the community, which is cool.
That is very cool. What were you selling?
I started just selling my jewelry mostly. Yeah.
And we got a bunch of stuff kind of scattered around. We got some beads.
Yeah.
We got some gems of various sorts.
Yes.
So take me into kind of your artistic background. When did you start designing and making your own jewelry?
So I've kind of always been an artist. I went to school for art, but I would say about 2 years ago in 2024, I was actually working full time. I was doing the displays for Anthropology, the store. And I had some health scares, some health issues. And so I wasn't able to do the work there, which was kind of large scale installation work. It was like carpentry, building like these large displays. And that was just something at the time I wasn't able to do anymore. And so I was like, okay, how can I take something that I can do on like a lower scale, something I can do while I'm like sitting down or I'm at home. And so jewelry was something like I've always had an interest in, but I'm like, mostly I was like a painter, a builder, kind of creator from different materials. And so it kind of was a way for me to make my art more accessible. And then I found that I enjoyed like seeing that people could go out into the world and like wear my pieces. And so wearable art became a thing that I was like really interested in. So, yeah.
I think that's super cool. I actually talked about this in the interview I did with Livy here about when you see an idea get into like fully formed creation. It's such an interesting feeling.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I never thought that when I first started making jewelry back like 2 years ago that it would turn into this like whole project. But I definitely like continue to see it growing into something more and more than not just me at home making jewelry to sell online. It's become this whole thing where I collaborate with other artists and create this like environment as well. Like,
right, a little bit more than a hobby.
Yes, yeah.
Letting it blossom. That's super cool. What do you actually do in this space? Because we'll see a little bit on film, of course, but you have to see it in person to really get the vibe. It's such a beautiful, colorful place. What do you run out of this place?
So I'm usually here 5 days a week, and I'm back behind the counter here making pieces. I run an online shop where people order a lot of custom pieces. So a lot of my work I do in this space, also at home too. So it's a lot of like my handmade charms that I hand sculpt and hand paint. I've kind of expanded into like home decor. So I make these handmade mirrors, and I work with other local artists who make like different ceramic pieces, crocheted pieces, painted and upcycled clothing. embroidery, lots of different things. And so I kind of, when I opened the space, I wanted to showcase that creativity and art can exist in like all aspects of your lifestyle. And so I decided to call this like a home and lifestyle brand because when you think about like the bowl that you're eating your cereal out of in the morning or your coffee mug, like for everything to be handmade is such like a special thing and something that I think most people don't really pay attention to those details. So kind of trying to bring that to light, I guess.
I feel 100% the exact same way. When I was looking at spaces to do that interview, yours by far was my favorite because I feel like we're in a kind of a cookie cutter world right now. Like you mentioned a bowl. Oh, I could get 10 bowls on Amazon for $5. Yeah, you can, and it's fine, but it's boring, man.
Right.
And I feel that's been like kind of I watched this video like in the 90s, 2000s. Everything was kind of more colorful. Even McDonald's, remember the play place and all that. Now McDonald's looks like a school or something, you know?
Yeah, and a lot of this space is inspired like by my childhood in the early 2000s. And actually like the colors of this space are painted in the same colors that my childhood bedroom were painted in. And so I was inspired a lot by like early 2000s fashion and like TV shows and pop culture. And so a lot of that is kind of the inspo for here. And also sort of like the 70s, my grandma had a home that was like very retro. She had like this rainbow carpet and like cool paneling on the walls and wallpaper. And so it's kind of like a combo of all of that as well. But I think like, yeah, seeing all these spaces that are so like minimalist is something that I think is cool, and it's something that I can definitely respect. But this is kind of me just like pouring my everything, my inner child into this space. So I hope that people can like also feel that way when they come in here.
Oh, I think you're absolutely there. And you're right. If you want to live that minimalist vibe, cool. But there's people that don't want to live that as well. And I think you're going to appeal to a really interesting market.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm also a product of the 90s and 2000s. I love the 70s as well.
Yeah.
I was watching, I don't know, were you a fan of the OC? Did you ever watch it? I was watching that on the Christmas break and just looking at the colors and nostalgia is a tricky thing, but there's something to it as well.
Yeah, for sure.
What was some of your favorite 2000s shows?
One of my favorites was definitely That's So Raven. I was definitely like, I love Disney Channel, Hannah Montana, all of those things. And I was also really inspired by Bratz dolls. That was like,
those are on fire.
Something I was like obsessed with. And so a lot of like the things that I love in fashion and in art, I'm getting into making like press on nails, and a lot of that kind of, it all comes together like full circle, I think. And so, yeah, that's a lot of my inspo for sure.
I can see that. Definitely. That makes some sense. And I think that's cool. I think we kind of take things too serious sometimes if we reflect on what we liked as a kid. I think that could help us get to another point.
I think so too, yeah. And I think like we were just talking about turning 30, and I think like I saw this video online of someone saying that like turning 30 is just you starting to love all of the things that you loved like when you were in middle school again.
Right.
And I think it's such a cool thing to be able to like be confident in the things that used to be like maybe embarrassed about, or like love like and appreciate those things again. And it's like such a freeing feeling to be like, I'm just gonna wear these colors and I'm gonna create these things that I always wanted to create. And like now as an adult, I finally have like the environment to do that. And so yeah, that's cool.
You're absolutely right, because you know, in your teenage years, your 20s, you're really learning a lot of stuff. You're trying to fit in, and then maybe if you figure out, oh, fitting in is actually not that fun. Right. It's better to stand out in some ways.
Yeah, for sure. And I try to do that. Like when people come in here, I think a lot of people are very surprised and they're shocked, because I think a lot of times like when it comes to fashion or comes to things that people purchase, they want to be like told that it's something that they should buy, that there's a trend. And so it's cool to see people kind of change their minds a little bit when they see my pieces. Like they'll be like, oh, this is kind of weird. Like I can never wear this. And it's like, you could actually, like colors can be a neutral in your wardrobe or in your life. So Yeah.
I think that's all with finding your own style. You know, if you want to just dress like everyone else dresses, that's fine.
Yeah, for sure.
But again, similar to what we mentioned, there's another way you can take it and make it your own.
Yeah, in a way, we're all kind of walking like canvases. And I think some people express themselves in different ways, like whether that's through their work or through their fashion sense or, you know, different things. But I think there's like, I'm trying to show people that like they can express themselves in like multiple aspects of their life. And so I think it's cool to be able to have the space here to like showcase that in a way.
It really is. Is this a place people, because I see on your Instagram, you guys are kind of treating this as a bit of an event space as well. You're doing photo shoots in here. Of course, we're recording interviews. Are you seeing that direction kind of change a little bit?
Yeah, honestly, I never thought that that's what was going to happen when we opened the space. I like put so much work into opening it because I wanted to create the space that I saw my pieces being showcased in, and then a lot of people started really loving it and wanting to create within this space. And so I have an background in art education and museums, and so like I was a teacher for a while. And so I like loved that idea of people wanting to come here and create more art and be inspired by the things that were in here. So yeah, I definitely see a lot more of like collaborations with other artists, whether it's like with workshops and events or like photo shoots. And a lot of times like when people come in to do the photo shoots, they like want to put on my jewelry or they want to wear like the other pieces from the other artists. And it's such a cool like collaboration, I think. So yeah, and a lot of people have even asked me like for interior design advice, and that's not something I ever thought was going to be a thing, but I think that's kind of the direction that I may be heading to.
That's super cool. Sometimes once you get the ball rolling, you might not know where it's going to go, but could take you to some cool places.
Sure.
I love that. What's the biggest transition been? Because you said you're doing museums, teaching, and you made a decision to do full time with this. What's that transition been like for you?
It's been really hard. I think I have to create my own structure when it comes to my work. And so when I was first doing this full time, I was just like online. So I was at home making pieces, selling them online and doing like pop-ups. And so that became a thing where I was just working like 14 hours a day because I was just really, I had this like passion to create more and more and to like grow. And so that was really hard for me to find a balance between like this thing that was my passion and my hobby that used to be something I did after work and that becoming my like entire life. And that's still something that I struggle with. But I think like having a physical space now that I'm like, okay, these are the hours that I'm open, helps a little bit. I mean, I still go home and work on things, but that's definitely been the biggest challenge is like finding a way to not like lose a lot of myself in creating. Yeah.
It is a really tough balance, especially when you kind of, you up the ante when you're like, okay, I'm doing this full time. Okay, there's bills to pay. There's things you got to do. It's not just for fun anymore.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that like for a while, it's such like a strange combination of like being stressed and needing to use your art that used to be something that you did to like relax. It's such a weird feeling to try to like manage that. But I think that I found ways to be able to be like, okay, these are things that could help me make money. Maybe they're not the things that I like want to be doing all the time, but I always make sure that I have like a project or a thing that I'm working on that's like something that I don't care if I make money from, or it's just like sometimes I need to stop all of like my commissions or things that I'm doing and just like create something. And so like recently I started making nails, and that's something that like has been my new like hobby in a way. Like it's just I need to like keep trying and doing new things to make sure that I'm like continuing and I'm not staying stuck, you know?
You're definitely a true creative.
Yeah.
You're definitely a true creative because you wouldn't go into this as just like, okay, let me just squeeze every dime out of it possible. You know, of course you want to make money and continue to build a business, live a good life, but art, I think, will always come first to a real creative, and I definitely see that in you.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is really important because, again, I think corporate culture today, it's not about the art.
No.
You know, in the mainstream, at least, it's certainly not. So
Yeah.
I think spaces like this are extremely valuable.
Yeah, and it's also a challenge is trying to let people know that this is something that's valuable, like, and not even just trying to get people to purchase the things here, but to understand that there is like so much value in handmade art, and like even just looking at it and experiencing it, like coming from a background in museums, like having art be accessible and available, especially like local art, is like so valuable. And so I think in a culture where that is not valued in a lot of different spaces, that's definitely been a challenge to like have people understand that, you know. So
That's a great point. Why do you think that is? What's your opinion? It's not a fact, but it's an opinion.
I think like, I don't know, I think capitalism, money, greed, a lot of different things in society have led to people not being able to express themselves in a way. And so that's why it's also kind of hard to like bring money into something, because I think that art should be accessible to people in all different forms. And so that's kind of, it's hard for me to be like, here, like buy my things. So I like the idea of being able to like inspire people or work with people. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm like nodding my head off right now because I think you're speaking absolute facts. And I actually had this conversation with someone recently about like, man, you shouldn't feel guilty for charging people money, but when it's something that you view as art, it does come with a weird taste, you know? So I definitely feel that.
For sure. It's really hard to put a price on something that's like kind of like a piece of your soul in a way sometimes. And so I've even tried to be like, okay, how many charms can I make in an hour? Let me like produce. And I'm like, this is like totally going against everything that like I wanted to do in the first place. So yeah.
Again, spoken like a true creative. Because, you know, especially like artists from back in the day, like 60s, 70s, a lot of like Neil Young and guys like that, they often would talk about like, okay, if I'm doing a studio album, I'm making 5 for myself after this, you know? So I absolutely feel that. And have you ever heard of the theory, the third place?
Yeah.
I feel this is like kind of a good example of that.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I wanted. But then again, it's like kind of hard to find a balance between like paying the rent for the space and like making enough money to like survive, and then also offering this like free experience for people. And that's something that like I've definitely been trying to figure out and manage like ways to be able to do that too.
Yeah, it's a little puzzle. You know, that's certainly not simple, but I think it's absolutely worth the effort.
Yeah, for sure.
So shout out to you for doing that.
Yeah.
So we actually have someone in the audience in the interview, watching the interview right now. He asked a very good question prior to the interview, and I want to ask it to you on camera here. In a world full of fast fashion, there's Walmarts every block, there's Amazon trucks every block you see. How do you view yourself in that space?
It is very hard to compete with something like that. And I think like a lot of handmade artists feel the same way, that you feel like you need to, like me personally, I see people purchasing like mass produced items and trinkets and bag charms, say like, for example, things that I'm making myself. And I know that they're buying them because maybe they are at a cheaper price point and it's something that makes them happy or something they enjoy. And so a part of me is like, okay, if I lower my prices, then people will want my things. But then when I'm doing that, I'm completely like undercutting all of the work that I've done. Like my pieces take me hours to make. And so I think there's like a fine line between, some people don't have the money to spend on handmade art. And so they don't have the ability to spend what I believe my work is worth. And so I mean, I just consider that maybe sometimes those people just like aren't going to be my customer and maybe they'll appreciate it. But I think like I said before, like trying to make people understand the value of something that's handmade and like the imperfections in them are things that are just so beautiful, and that's not always something you're gonna get in something that's mass produced.
Right.
But I think like there are people who really appreciate the uniqueness and the handmade aspects of things, and there are a lot of like really cool people who are into fashion that I've been able to like meet and like work with. And so those are kinds of the things that keep me going, and like understanding that there are people who are in the same boat and agree. And I think we kind of just like as creatives need to kind of stick together and like make people understand the value of our work in a way.
I think you're absolutely right. I think when you have kind of maybe more of a niche game, whatever you want to call it, it's almost in a way better because, to your point, like the people that do, for lack of a better term, people that do fuck with you, they really do.
For sure.
It's like you kind of have like a cult following type of thing.
Yeah, which is cool. But I see there's a part of me that like wants to, maybe it's like being a people pleaser almost, but like wants everyone to understand it and like it. And that's something that I'm also, trying to learn. So it's like some people are just going to buy things off of Shein because they like it or that's what they can afford. And maybe those are never going to be the people that appreciate my things for what they are. So, yeah.
I like how you put that, like trying to learn. That's what life is.
Yeah.
Like, bro, if you have everything figured out by 30, that's not much fun.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So I think you're well on that way. So I'm very, very excited to see kind of where you take things, because just off knowing you for a little bit and seeing what you've done, very impressive.
Thank you.
No, it's really, really cool stuff. What type of museums did you work at?
I worked, actually, when I first moved here, I worked at the Museum of the West.
In Scottsdale.
Yeah. And
I park there all the time.
yeah, it's a cool place. And I also did a little bit of research and wrote some tours for Taliesin West, which is the Frank Lloyd Wright site. And then in Pittsburgh, I worked for the Frick Art Museum. It's like a kind of a really cool historic museum there. But a lot of it, my focus was in like programming and like education. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
You feel like you're a natural teacher?
I don't know. I never thought I was going to be one. My undergrad is in art history and art therapy. And so that was kind of the route, I guess, combined kind of creates a teacher. But it's something that I always, like, I guess, gravitated towards. So, yeah.
What's art therapy? That sounds interesting.
It's essentially just therapy with art, instead of talk therapy, more so it's kind of, sometimes there's a combo, but it's where people are able to express themselves through creating, kind of understand their feelings in different ways. I mean, I think like art in general is just a therapeutic thing, and I think a lot of people don't even understand that. And so when you get people who are struggling with different things, there are some like art practices that can really help them. So yeah.
That's super cool. Yeah, because it appeals to a lot of different senses as well.
Yeah.
The other thing with just like art in general, museums, galleries, they're typically more on the quiet side of things, which I love. Most outside events, it's usually very loud, DJ playing, and there's a time for that, of course. But I do think that art space is really valuable for people that want to do something but aren't trying to, hear the bass breaking their freaking head in,
Yeah, and you can experience it like at your own pace and in your own way too. So
meet kind of like-minded people. I love that. What's a piece in here that you're kind of feeling right now? Because I know you switch things out quite a bit. Chandeliers, curtains.
There's a lot of stuff going on in here. I think there's like pieces that I have from other artists in here that are really inspiring to me. And that's something that I like to showcase. Rachel Castanat makes these really cool like 3D acrylic abstract paintings. And I met her, she first came into the shop and like was a customer. And I found her Instagram and I was like, wow, your art belongs in here. And so definitely those paintings. And like these mirrors that I've been working on. I was inspired by her use of like bright colors too. Yeah, I'm wanting to get into creating more of these like larger displays that I did when I first opened the store. it's just, finding the time to do that. But definitely, like, we've even been talking about, like, the thought of turning our house into, like, an Airbnb, which is, like, kind of an Artdillo Eclectic, like, 2.0. So, like, thinking about things that I would create if I had, like, a fresh space is something that I'm, like, always thinking of in the back of my mind, for sure.
I support that big time. That's super cool. And you mentioned people are starting to reach out for, like, creative design advice.
Yes, yeah.
That's super cool.
They kind of see these, like, display pieces or these lamps that I've created, and they're like, I need that in my house. Like, can you come and, like, give me a quote? And that's not something I ever thought would happen, but it's cool to think about that being a possibility, for sure.
Like I said earlier, I'm very excited to see where that goes, because I see a lot of potential there.
Yeah.
See you on Home and Garden or something. That would be awesome. Every time I've come in here, you guys got some nice music playing, chilling. What's your kind of workflow state?
Depends. Sometimes I have, like, a groovy playlist on. Depends on what I'm feeling. Maybe some, like, Charli XCX is one of my favorite artists. So, like, some pop.
Super Love, you know that song?
Yes, yeah.
Banger.
Yeah. So it depends on the vibe that I'm feeling. Sometimes it's 2000s throwbacks. But yeah, I'm always back there working on things, like, the whole time that I'm here, constantly. So
in the laboratory.
Yes. Yeah, in the corner back there. That's, like, the only space I have here. So I have, like, a whole space at home. I have, like, my home studio and then my in here where I'm working, and it's just, like, back and forth all the time.
Good for you, man. I love to see that. Like, kind of a theme of the show that I do is promoting entrepreneurs, promoting people that, put themselves out there. So when I see people take that chance on themselves, it's very inspiring. So not easy to do.
No.
Appreciate you for doing it.
Thank you. Yeah. It's definitely a hard thing, for sure, but it's worth it, I think.
It is, man. I mean, I'm sure you maybe had more, I guess, security in previous areas of life, but also not as much freedom in a way.
Yeah, and I don't think I feel like it didn't drive me as much.
No.
And so, like, when I first started this, I was like, shoot, how am I going to pay my bills? Like, how am I going to do that? And so I was like, okay, I have to grind. I have to keep making things and do more and more and more. And now it's, like, also still that, but also, like, what are bigger projects? Like, what are bigger brands that I can collaborate with? Like, last year I went to New York Fashion Week. And so it's like, how can I continue to do more and more? And it becomes less about, like, paying the bills and more about, like, growing as, an artist, I guess.
Absolutely. You challenge yourself, and it's like a video game. You get to a next level, and then, the next level might be harder, but you can do it. Right. And then you keep going. Sure.
Yeah, I agree.
That's really cool, man. New York's a fun place as well.
I love New York, yeah.
Yeah, you go there a lot?
Not as much as I would like to, but a lot of my, like, customers are from New York. A lot of them. And so I think it's just such a cool place. I mean, being from the East Coast, I would go there a lot, like...
Yeah, Pittsburgh's pretty close.
Yeah, not too far. Yeah.
New York is just, like, this giant playground almost.
Yeah.
Like, there's, like, 1,000 neighborhoods, and all of them are unique.
Yes, for sure.
And, like, in a way overwhelming, too, but...
Yeah.
When you're in that mode...
Yeah.
It's like a giant playground, man.
Yeah, I agree. It's cool.
Here, I feel much more laid back. Close to California, a little bit more on the, chilling side.
Yeah. I feel it's very chill here, and I'm still, like, trying to find the, like, I feel like the creative community here is not as big. I mean, maybe I don't know enough about it, but I do know that, like, when I was in undergrad and I was even just being in Pittsburgh, there's just, like, this faster pace.
Absolutely.
And so coming here, I'm like still constantly like that. I'm just, like, trying to move and go. And so I think that here everyone is kind of moving at a slower pace, which is kind of like something maybe I need to, like, be inspired by too, because slowing down is good sometimes, but yeah.
No, that's really interesting. And I agree. I think also with the East Coast, it's like the winter and you got the cold and people are like, oh, I don't want to be outside for too long. Let's make it happen, know?
True. That's true.
But also, like, it's typically, I've never been to Pittsburgh, but I'm from not far from Pittsburgh, and it's usually a little more condensed. Whereas here, it's like even LA, very spread out.
Yeah.
Like, you need to have a car for a lot of,
Yeah. Which is ironic that we're in a car-free community.
Yeah,
right now.
Culdesac.
Yeah.
I think the only car-free community
Yeah.
in I think that suits your guys' vibe very well too.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to create a space that like makes sense in this community too. So like even like earlier today, one of the residents came and made some jewelry like to give as a gift to one of their friends. And so I want this to be a space that people that who even live here can like come and maybe even get like, now I have like beads that people can take as supplies if they want to take it to their house or they want to come hang out in here and make things. And so yeah, I think creating, like you were saying, like that third space, but even so for the people who live here who don't have a car, who move to this walkable community, like making sure to be like a core component of that community too.
That's a great idea. I'm gonna come here on like a Saturday or something, make some jewelry.
Yeah, for sure.
Get out now. The ideas are flowing
Yeah.
to me. Love that. See, that's what a third space can do, man. Get out of your house. You touched on something interesting about slowing down. I feel now more than ever, fast. Everything's fast. Like, get this AI answer in 5 seconds. You can do this, do that. I'm often being like, listen, man, I gotta slow myself down because this pace is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
You feel similarly?
Yeah, and that's even like we were talking about, like mass produce, like trying to keep up with that pace is impossible. And I hear a lot of times from like other businesses, which I think that they mean well when they say this, but they're like, you have to work smarter, not harder. Like you have to find ways to make your job easier. So you should make molds of all your pieces and make 10,000. And for me, it's like, actually, like, I don't want to do that.
And you don't have to.
Yeah, and I feel like there is this pressure where I'm like, okay, you know, the stores around me are selling thousands of things. And for me, it's like, there's no possible way that a human can keep up with something like that. But there is like something very special about knowing that you can take your time on something and that, like, in a way, like, it is therapeutic for me too. Like, sometimes, like, just sitting here and beating a necklace and kind of spacing out for a little bit is like something that I like need to do. Because I'm constantly putting this pressure, like timelines. Like, I think people are also used to ordering something online and getting it in 2 days.
Yep.
And they'll order like a custom piece for me that I have to like hand sculpt like a portrait of their dog or like something very like intricate. And they're like, where's my order? And they ordered it yesterday. So it's really hard to compete with that. And I do try to push myself sometimes, but then sometimes I'm like, wait, like, this is handmade. Like, I want people to understand that, like, there is importance in that being slow made. And, like, slow made is something I try to, like, talk about a lot as well, because I think that's important to know that your pieces are being made, like, very thoughtfully and carefully and slow, not fast. So.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of those things, too. And it's like, just chill. This piece is going to be sick. Like, let me take care of you type thing. But no, I agree, and I think it's valid for what you do, but just like everyday life. Like, what is the rush?
Right.
You're speeding to a red light, you know? There's time. I feel that in the like corporate world, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, bro, their work is gonna be there.
Right.
And for your what you're doing, absolutely, man. Why not get the real deal?
Yeah. I think people are always trying to like push to like go viral to get the next thing. Bigger. And so there's this pressure like, why aren't you creating enough like reels on social media and why aren't you doing these things? And so it's like, you know, sometimes I think there's like a lot of like, I don't know, like uniqueness and character in kind of doing something different and not like following a template and you know, trying to just create something to go viral or to, you know, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, no, you're absolutely speaking my language. I said one time, you're a creative, but you're trying to appeal to an algorithm. That's the opposite. Like, to me, again, coming up, listening to like people in the 60s, 70s, the creativity was the rebellion. Like, it's being an artist is going against that mentality. Now we're just like embracing a fictional like template that a robot probably created. Like, to me, it's weird. Yeah. I'm ranting now, but I think it's fucking strange.
Yeah, no, it's weird for sure. And trying to like compare yourself to that and like, I don't know, it's like social media, not to like go too much off, but that's something that's been really hard too. I feel like there's a lot of pressure where people are like, you can just sell your pieces on the TikTok shop and you can, sell wholesale to these like businesses, or like you have to create reels, and that's like a whole other thing in itself. And it's like, maybe I don't need to go viral. Like maybe I don't need thousands of followers to be able to feel like what I'm doing is important. And so that's something that I've really been trying to like learn as well recently, is to not compare to like other people who are getting more and more followers and they're getting all of these views on their videos, and it's like, what am I doing wrong, and it's like, I think that there is character in knowing that somebody like has this more local following. Like I think that the people that are locally here and the creators that I collaborate with are like so much more important than having thousands of followers from who knows where. So yeah.
You can't compare. It doesn't compare. Like 1 million followers, that's cool, man, but you don't know them. They don't know you.
Right.
If you share an actual moment with someone in person and they buy your stuff, or even you just have a good connection, you can't compare that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they want you to think that.
Yeah.
But it's bullshit.
Yeah, and I think like a lot of people don't, like I feel people don't maybe take me as seriously if I don't have enough followers. And I think like for some people that's like their first indication of somebody being like someone they need to pay attention to, is like, how many followers do they have? How many views do they get? Like, oh, they must be legit. And so it's like, sometimes for me, I feel like people kind of pass by or like don't take me seriously, which is kind of sad, but.
Yeah, but at the same time, they probably aren't even your target audience.
Right, yeah.
So that's one thing I feel for myself too, of like, I feel very similarly to what you're saying for my platform, but it's the same thing. Like I don't judge things based off that sort of stuff. In fact, I probably might judge it as it's worse.
Yeah.
So why would I hold myself to that standard? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And also when you know the work that you put in, I think that is, no one can take that away from you ever.
That's true, yeah.
A TikTok page is awesome. I still think social media is a great tool.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
But it's not everything.
Yeah.
And bigger, it's a Western thing. Like bigger is better, more is better. It's not true, man.
That's true, yeah.
In my opinion, who the hell am I? But yeah, man, I personally think you're on the right track. And I think your Instagram's really, really great.
Thank you.
By the way, like I think it sets the tone of what this place is. It's a mystery.
Yeah.
'Cause that was me when I found your place. I'm like, what is this? What happens here? It looks like a candy factory or something, or like, oh, it's cool, man. I think you got a good like combo of mystery and welcome.
Yeah, I think you need a little bit of that so that people are like, what is in here? Like, what am I coming to see? Yeah.
Absolutely. You mentioned people have kind of been wanting you to do something like this, like an interview. Is that something you've been thinking about, like exposing you as a person a little bit more to help the brand?
Yeah, that's something that's been hard for me. I have this fear of being perceived because I think when you're an artist, it's kind of like you're just like opening up yourself to the world. Mm-hmm. And all of your creations are just like you giving a piece of yourself kind of away. And I don't know, I always liked the idea of my process being kind of like my own. And I don't like work in a very like aesthetic environment. Like I'm a very messy creative. I'm not organized at all. I like work when I feel motivated sometimes, and so it'll be like really late at night, and so it's not the best like way to record myself. But yeah, it's something I'm trying to be better at, is being perceived. Because I think like a lot of people are so curious, like who is the person behind all of this? A lot of times people come in and they don't even realize that I'm the person that made all of this. You just work here. Yeah, and sometimes I kind of like that. I'm like, I like being anonymous sometimes, but I think I'm trying more to like open myself up and like have people understand like why I do this or like how I do it, So
good for you. I think that's one of the best things about being the boss too. Like you can do what you want to do. You want to do an interview? Yeah, I don't want to do this. I don't have to.
Yeah, true.
As opposed to when you're working for someone.
Yeah, that's true.
They do have kind of ultimate say.
True.
Very cool, man. I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Is it something that you see long term? Hard to say, but
Yeah, that's so hard to think of because it's kind of been like a roller coaster since I first started doing this full time. Like it was never something I really thought about. I just kind of like jumped into it, which sometimes I think is like the best.
yes.
But I don't know. Like I don't even know if I see myself owning a retail space in the future. Maybe I would love to be able to like travel more and like bring my work in other places. I would love to get more into like the fashion realm of things, and like the designer world is something that's always interests me. I have no idea. I have like so many things that I want to do. So I kind of just like at this point want to see like where life takes me, kind of.
I think that's the best way, and really the only way, because you could plan till the cows come home.
Right.
You never know.
Yeah, true.
But I love that. I love that you're also thinking like, I think a lot of times today too, when you go on Instagram, it's very down and bad news.
Yeah.
Almost always.
Yeah.
So to hear someone like yourself saying, maybe I'll do this or maybe I'll do this, like all of it's positive, it's very refreshing.
Yeah, and like working full time before, it was always hard to like think about like, am I gonna work here forever? Am I gonna be a teacher forever? Like it was kind of like this scary thought to know that like maybe I wasn't going to have choice over like my life in the future. And so now it's kind of like it is scary but also exciting to know that there's like this open end of possibilities. So
You gamble, you take your bet on yourself, put a bet on yourself, and you're winning.
yeah.
Isn't that cool? I think that's the bet. I admire it, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I think it's really, really cool.
Thank you. Yeah. It's definitely, it doesn't come without its struggles for sure. It's like the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, I think. But I've learned so much and like grown so much as a person that I don't think I would have ever done if I was like working for someone else. So
Now you took the training wheels off.
yeah.
You know, jump in the deep end. I'm just using a bunch of cliches, but it's all true.
Yeah. True.
Would you say, another tough question, would you say there's been like one main lesson since you've embarked on this journey?
Like a million, but I think one recent one that's been really sticking out to me is to like not compare myself to others, which obviously I think everyone deals with in some capacity, but I like recently have been trying to just very much focus on myself and my ideas and like stop looking at what other people are doing or think that they're doing more than me or doing something better than me. And I think it's helping the like trajectory I'm trying to go towards is to just like focus on what I want to create. Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's excellent advice for anyone watching. Again, business owner or not, great, because we're all individual. We're all unique. It's our own story.
I think it's important to like, I love collaborating with other people too. So I think there's like this balance of like being inspired by and working with another creative and also not comparing yourself to them. Cause like, I think a lot of people think that they're like, wow, like it seems like you do everything so perfectly and you have it all together, but it's like there's so many challenges that people don't see. And it's like, do I show them that? Like, would that make people see me as a more like well-rounded like person, business owner, artist? Because I think like I like try so hard to make everything look perfect and like put together, but that's because of like hundreds of hours of work beforehand. And so It's like, you know.
Yeah, you were there, but no one else really was.
Yeah.
That's some real stuff. Do you consider yourself a perfectionist?
I guess so. I don't know. I don't know if I consider myself one to be, but I think that other people would consider that. Yeah. Yeah. Trying to get away from that though. Yeah.
Good for you, man. That's, I think, again, I love the path that you're on, and I think you're going to do some crazy stuff.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You mentioned you're in your 30th year. How do you feel about that?
Almost.
I didn't bring it up. You brought it up. How do you feel about that?
Soon. I don't know. For the longest time, I was like, there was like this fear of turning 30. Like I like specifically remember my mom turning 30. Like she was a very young mom. And so like, I was like, that's so old. Like she was such an adult and I don't feel like, I don't know. I don't feel like an adult really. But I think it's exciting. I think that like now I have more opportunities at hand and I have like more ability to do things that I didn't get to do in my 20s. So I think it's exciting. I don't know. Yeah, I'm excited.
I completely agree. I just turned 30 last year, and I feel the same way of like I have all the things I learned from my 20s, but also I'm not there anymore. I don't have to deal with all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, you're right. It's like when I realized, when my mom was 30, she was this old. Like,
yeah, I know. It's such a weird thing to think about. Yeah.
I talked to her about that too. Like, damn, you didn't know what you're doing, because I have no idea what I'm doing.
There's no way. So
I even respect it more.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
It's really interesting. Any travel plans coming up for you?
That's definitely something I want to plan. I haven't been able to really do much since having this store. It's become like my life 24/7. But yeah, would love to travel literally anywhere. I think I need to get away from here for a little bit.
A little creative recharge.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great point too. Of like a friend of mine back in Toronto, he's got his own drywalling business. I'll talk to him and he'll say like, damn bro, I put in like 14 hours today, but I didn't see my wife much, I didn't. So I think that's a really underrated part of being a business owner. The sacrifice that you have to make is it's a big one.
Yeah, all the hats you have to wear that I think I didn't realize at first, and other people don't realize that like there's something that you have to be doing like constantly. Like even the days that the store is closed, like I am working like 12 hours both days. Like, so that's hard too, because as a creative, especially, like burnout is something that takes away your creativity and doesn't allow you to keep creating things. And so, yeah, you need to be able to have that time to like recharge for sure.
Absolutely. You have a recharge routine?
Oh, not really, honestly. I am someone that struggles with working until I burn out, and then like my body physically forces me to recharge. But I'm trying to now, on like the days that the stores are closed, like go on like a longer walk in the morning, like slow down in the mornings is something, because like I come here at like noon and I'll be here till like 6 or 7, and then I'll usually work like all night. So I'm like, okay, the time that I have control of mostly over is like in the morning. So like, yeah, definitely trying to go more towards that too.
Smart. I love a slow morning too.
Yeah.
Make a little coffee.
Yeah, it's important.
Have a bagel or something.
Right. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Love that. Is there anything you wanted to discuss and promote? I of course had some things I wanted to ask, but I love to give my guests a chance to kind of talk about anything they would like to.
I think like I would love to have more people know about this space, especially like creatives. I'm always looking like for handmade artists that I could potentially collaborate with, like throw an event with, a workshop, or even to like showcase pieces in here. So that's definitely something that I'm always on the lookout for sure.
That's going to happen for sure. That's definitely going to happen. And you're on Peer Space?
Yes, yeah.
So people can actually rent the space by the hour?
Yes, yeah. So for photo shoots, like for podcasting, interviews, honestly, whatever you want. Yeah. Yeah,
and again, man, this space is, especially if you're kind of an out of the box thinker, you could do some really cool stuff here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's like different themes to each of the rooms, and things can be moved around in different ways. So yeah. For sure. Yeah,
I love it in here, man. This is super. Even to play, you got some books. Chill on the couch, read a book.
Yeah, I wanted it to feel like lived in, but also like some people think it kind of looks like a movie set. Mm-hmm. So, combo of a lot.
Oh, I love it. Very cool. And I love that 70s feel. I love it. I think color should make a comeback.
I agree. Yeah.
Even in my apartment, I've definitely got some beaded curtains and stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hell yeah.
It's like rebellious to be colorful.
Yeah.
I think. And I think like even someone had mentioned like, I have a lot of customers who like their style is more goth or gothic, which is like surprising to some people. But I think in a way, like for you to have that like gothic style and also to be extremely colorful are like two ends of the spectrum that are like just not beige. And so I think both are very rebellious in their own ways, and we kind of can like come together too in a way.
I fully agree. Shameless plug, but I feel like the interview I did with Libby kind of had that too.
Yeah,
I thought like all black with all these colors. I think it looks super cool.
Well.
Love that. Final question I like to ask guests: what are you listening to these days? You mentioned Charlie XCX. Any other stuff on the playlist?
I've been listening to a lot of Charlie XCX, Addison Rae. I've been listening to some throwbacks for sure. Always loved like Fleetwood Mac.
Fire.
Yeah, that's kind of been my recent playlist.
Stevie Nicks would love this place for sure.
Yeah, I wish she could come here. Yeah.
One day, next time she tours in Phoenix, we'll get her here. Love that. Carli, it's been an absolute pleasure. I really, really respect what you're doing here and love this place. I'm going to be back. I live in the neighborhood, so you'll see me around. But congratulations on the space. I think you're going to do amazing things. And shout out to Artdillo Eclectic, man. Follow. What's your IG?
It's just artdillo.eclectic. Yeah.
Hit up artdillo.eclectic. Go on Peer Space. Come for a walk at Culdesac Tempe. Leave the car at home. There's a parking lot though. But yeah, man, I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Great to chat with you.
Yeah.
Shout out Artdillo Eclectic, Versatile Vigilante. We're out here.